So well done, and I say congratulations. Thank you for giving me the honor to speak tonight being the first day, and I'm hoping that I will set the pace and the tone and the energy for the rest of the conference. So if you are here, I can already see some of my people that followed me here. Ozioma, I can see you. Victor, I can see you. You guys are here. Thank you for coming. I heard someone from Ghana, Gloria. Gloria, nice to meet you. I lived in Ghana for 2 years. So Medase, thank you for coming tonight. To join us. Yes, I'm a little partial towards Ghanaians.
Okay.
All right. So tonight we are going to be learning about thriving in adversity. And I'm going to be sharing with us. Okay. Dami, I think you have to allow me share. It's saying that the host isn't allowing multiple presenters sharing for this meeting. Do you check? There's something you need to enable before I share. You check my own settings and see. Someone else, did you allow someone else to share? Because it's saying multiple, so I don't know what it means by multiple at this
Nobody's
point.
sharing any screen. And I'm not sure I know where to go and find that now. Okay, so
click on my Zoom isn't my forte, but click on my profile on Zoom and click on the 3 buttons. There should be 3 dots at the top of my name. Or yes, at the top of my name, I think. And it should be able to show you some options.
It's saying I should change the host.
Okay, so can you just make me a host for now? Okay. If you make me a host for now, then when I'm done, great. All right, so I'm the host now, so I can share my screen. Great. So when I'm done, I will make you the host. All right. Please, can we see my screen?
Not yet. Still seeing your face. Okay. Still seeing your beautiful face. Okay, but I think you can see a part of your screen now.
Okay, great. So it's showing. Okay, great. So let me turn off my camera now so you can see my screen. So let me maximize what I'm sharing. Is it larger now?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, great. All right. So we're good to go. So tonight we are going to be talking about thriving amidst adversity, practical wealth building strategies for young Africans. Thank God I didn't put young Nigerians, because now we have someone from the diaspora joining us. And I coined this topic based on our theme, for the conference. And our theme is actually strategies for building wealth in hard times. And so I didn't want to use the theme, I just wanted to coin something out of it. And I thought that talking about thriving amidst adversity would be a perfect topic for us. If you've followed me for a bit, you know that one thing I'm always posting on my page every day is I'm thriving. So I just thought it was a great topic to share with us this evening. So now I have a question for everyone. How is the economy treating you? I would like to see your thoughts. Use the comments. How is the economy treating you? Let's use the chat box. How is the economy treating you? How is the economy treating you? I want to see, please. I want to see your thoughts. How is the economy treating you? Are you okay? Not nice, but budgeting is helping matters. Thank you for sharing, Ozioma. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to tell us how the economy is treating them? How is the economy treating you? By the way, Dami, have you gone to your group chat and prompted people to join us?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Ha! Dami said Basbos. Basbos beast, as I like to say it. I know. Anybody else want to share? Glory says the economy is not smiling at me. I know the economy is not smiling at me as well. Anybody else want to share? how is the economy treating you? How is the economy treating you? I know that the economy is not exactly smiling, like Glory has rightly said, right? But you see, the thing that we must understand, yes, the economy is very frustrating. I understand, right? You can buy something today at 50 naira and tomorrow you're probably buying it at 200 naira, and like it's not even something that you can explain, right? And it can be really exhausting because you're just wondering what is all of the hard work for. It almost seems like you are working and you can't even feel the impact of the work that you are putting out there. And so it could be really, really exhausting. But I think that my first encouragement to us all would be that, this isn't the first time that if an inflation has happened. I think that that is what has comforted me, and this will not be the last. This just gives us an opportunity to look for opportunities. Earlier today, I made a post on Facebook and I said that where problems abound, opportunities also abound. Because if you really look at the definition of entrepreneurship, right? The plain or simple definition of entrepreneurship is finding a problem, solving the problem, packaging it in a valuable way, and getting paid for it. So essentially, right? Essentially, do we now agree that you actually do not get paid where there's no problem? Who agrees with me? Because that's exactly what it means. It means that when everything is too soft, then that's a problem. Because now you don't know what solution to prefer because everywhere is soft. So whose problem are you going to actually solve? So I think that for me, it's driving me to think about this economy as a problem that I can find opportunities in. It is not the easiest, but the really interesting thing is that if you look really hard, you will find opportunities. You will find opportunities. And we just need to first of all, open up our hearts and our minds. I'm going to talk about the mindset today. And because we cannot talk about thriving without talking about mindset. Being able to thrive in the midst of adversity actually begins from your mindset. If your mindset is not, set to thrive, trust me, you will try as hard as you want, but you will never thrive. So let's move on. All right. So who am I? Dami already read my bio, so I'm just going to do a brief rundown of who I am. I always like to do this so that you know that it's not a quack that is teaching you. Okay. So my name is Christine, also known as a money mechanic. I'm a lawyer by training. I'm called to the Nigerian bar. I'm a project management professional, a human resource professional, and a fellow of the Institute of Management Consulting and a certified management consultant. I have a media consult, aka I'm a photographer. I've been doing that for 8 years. I sell honey. I have a rentals business, and I recently just, launched my consulting firm, which is the Inyare Brand Limited. It is a financial education consulting company. I currently have 6 streams of income: business writing, consulting, coaching, public speaking, and investing. What is my mission? I am on a mission to equip Africa's younger population with adequate financial literacy, advice, and strategy so they can journey to financial freedom and live life purposefully on their own terms and to the fullest, because money is no more a barrier. Do you know the reason why I'm so passionate about teaching about money? Because I see a whole lot of young people like myself and yourself go to their graves with their dreams and their aspirations simply because money was a barrier. And I believe personally that money is an accelerant, right? Money funds passion, money funds dreams. And the truth is that without money, right, your dreams could be stifled. And I know that you don't have to wait for hand-me-downs. You don't have to wait for somebody else to fund your dream. You can fund your dream. And the best way to be able to fund your dream is through financial literacy. So that is why I do what I do. I've been doing this since 2020, and I've engaged with over 5,000 young people virtually and physically. I've taught at numerous online classes and various summits and events. All right, moving on. What are we going to be learning today? We're going to be learning three main things: the wealth building mindset, strategies for building wealth, and overcoming the challenges, right, that face us when we are on our path to building wealth. Are we good to go? Let me see you give me a shout out in the comments. Are we good to go? Can we go on with our
good to go?
Awesome. Let's go. All right. Now let's start with understanding hard times. Let's start from here. Now, see, hard times, I think that we need to understand that hard times are a part of life. Yes. Remember I said earlier that this is not the first time there has been an inflation, and it will not be the last. Do you know why? Because there was a time when our parents were going home with a salary of 100 naira, and they would pay rent, pay fees, buy food for the house, buy clothes, buy Christmas clothes, buy chicken, buy cow meat. They would do everything and give offering in church and still save from 100 naira. Now, if somebody gives you 100 naira today and dashes you 100 naira, you probably look at the person twice and ask the person, what is this 100 naira exactly supposed to do for me? Right? Now, what has happened between when our parents were earning 100 naira as a salary and now is inflation? Simply put. So the first thing we must understand is that at some point in our parents' life, buying something at 10 naira was expensive. Are you getting my point? If you grew up in the time when fuel was 65 naira, at that time, it was still hard for a lot of people to buy fuel at 65 naira. As at this afternoon, I bought fuel at 1,114 naira. And I bought it side a little, but I bought it and I moved on. Do you know the very funny thing? Our children, right, will probably, if things go the way they are going, be buying fuel at maybe 2,000 naira per liter. And we will be talking about the good old days when we were buying fuel at 1,114 naira. Can you see the irony of that? And our children will not be able to relate. It's just like how we can't relate when our parents tell us they were collecting 100 naira salary. Like, we can't relate. It just doesn't sound, it sounds absurd. That is proof that hard times, that times like inflation, they are a constant. And so we must understand that what is happening to us, yes, it may be tough, but it's not exactly unusual. Yes, what is going on right now is on a hyper level, right? However, it is a part of life. Hard times are a part of life. I'm sorry to break your bubble, but hard times are a part of life. Now, let's look at the common economic realities faced by young Africans today. We have issue of unemployment. There's inflation, rising costs of living. We have limited access to capital to run our businesses and to fund our passions. Now, because of these very harsh realities, they can put a strain on our personal finances. But you see, when they put that strain on our finances, it also creates an urgent need to think creatively about wealth building. Do you remember what I said earlier? That when there are problems, where there's an abundance of problems, it means there's an abundance of opportunity. You just need to transit from dwelling on the problem to moving to seeking what the opportunities are in the midst of those problems. So now, speaking of hard times, the truth is that in as much as it affects our personal finance, it also affects us emotionally. Yes. I remember a couple of months ago, I had to, because I have a close community that I coach on a yearly basis. And I remember that when the inflation started hitting around January, February, I had to do a session with them, a 1-hour session on, dealing with financial anxiety and stress. Because on a serious note, what is going on in our country, Nigeria, and in Africa as a whole is really putting a whole lot of undue mental pressure on people. So people are going through stress, they're going through anxiety. There's also fear of the future. I was speaking at an event on Independence Day, and a young man, we're talking about wealth creation, and a young man stood up and said, it's great, all these things that we're saying. But he said something that really hit my heart. He said that he feels that our generation are having it harder when it comes to building wealth. It's like our own journey is going to be longer. This wealth building thing now, he was so discouraged, like you could see the discouragement on his face and hear it in his voice. That is what is going on. People's emotions are taking a hit. People are contemplating suicide. People are thinking about ending their lives. They're beginning to, think that all hope is lost. Where do I begin from? Am I sure I will really attain this financial freedom? Because it's too difficult. But like we said, where there's an abundance of problem, there's an abundance of opportunities. And so it is important that even as we go through these hard times, even as we go through a lot of emotional stress, we must also prepare to be resilient at heart. We must be able to decide, because it starts with a decision, that no matter what is going on, I am going to stand in this economic wahala and I'll still find a way to build wealth. Why? Because in generations past, when there were inflations like this, people still found ways to build wealth. People still found ways to build wealth. Our parents grew up in military regimes, but a lot of great wealth still came out of the times and seasons of military regimes. We should be asking that if in time past people were able to thrive even in tough economic times, what was the secret? One of the great secrets of thriving in very tough times is resilience. Somebody say resilience. Resilience of heart, resilience of mind, resilience of spirit at this time is highly important to thrive even in the midst of adversity. Moving on, let's talk about the importance of mindset. Now, there's something we call a wealth building mindset. Okay. And the most important thing that you must understand, again, is that a wealth building mindset is not affected by the circumstances around them. Yes, a wealth building mindset, somebody with a wealth building mindset is not affected by what is going on in the economy. Not because the economy is not hard, though. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that the economy is not hard. What we are saying, however, is that we are going to build wealth in spite of the economy. So it now means that wealth building in hard times is more about how you think about money than how much money you have. So it's not about the fact that I only have 500 naira in my wallet, and I don't, if that 500 naira is not even going to take me out tomorrow and bring me back. Talk more of to be able to get me a cup of garri and sugar for me to drink. That's not the point. The point is, how do you see money? So if I were to ask you one-on-one and I say, what is money to you? What is your mindset about money? Will your answer be the fact that money is hard to get? Will your mindset be that you are not deserving of wealth? Will your mindset be that, oh, there's been no millionaire in my family and it will not start with me? Will your mindset be of excuses, filled with excuses? So you must understand that your mindset is critical, very critical. Now, I'll give a personal example. Sometime earlier this year, I just picked up this mantra every day, telling myself, I am thriving, I am thriving, I am thriving. And I remember one day, when I had started doing that, I got to speak at an event, and it was while I was speaking that I realized the incredible impact that just staying positive had on me, or has had on me. You see, there are some days that I wake up, I don't even know how I'm going to fuel my car. Do you understand? I don't even know. But I had to go out that day. But one thing that I have endeavored to do each and every day that I wake up is to wake up with a mindset of possibility. Is to wake up with a mindset of positivity. Of telling myself that, you see this Nigeria, I will thrive in this Nigeria. I will be fine. I will take it one day at a time and I will be fine. And you know, the really interesting thing is that when I look back, there has been no day that has passed with everything that's going on that I have struggled immensely. There has been no day that the things that I needed to do, I have not done. You know why? Because it's not even about me wishing that people give me money. It is about me being able to say that today I am positioned for opportunities. I will open my eyes to opportunities. I will look for opportunities. I will position myself for opportunities. I will show up for my business. I will show up regardless of how I feel. I will show up regardless of what is going on around me. I will look for ways to create value today that will put money in my pocket. You know why? Because value is the magnet for money. I keep saying this. Value is the magnet for money. Money cannot be where value is and it will not come out. It's not possible. It's just like pouring sugar in a place and saying that ants will see it and not come out. No way. No way. It will come out. They will come out. Why? Because value is the magnet for money. So if you are not creating value, please don't expect money to come to you. Please don't expect money to come to you. I want to resound that. If you are not creating value, don't expect money to come to you. Because how much free money will sustain you? Even if you're expecting people day by day to give you free money and all of that, how much free money will sustain you? You must be able to say that on my own, I am creating value that will cause people to give me money. That is the wealth building mindset. The wealth building mindset is a mindset that has you thinking opportunity instead of problems. That has you thinking about taking action instead of giving excuses. If you know one thing about wealthy people, right, you will see that they are always ready to take action. 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 They forget about excuses. They forget about excuses. They are not people who give excuses. They are people who take action. And so you must ask yourself, since this whole hardship in the economy started, have I actually sat down to create solutions, or I have spent my time making excuses? I think that's a question each and every one of us must ask ourselves. Have you done the most when it comes to creating value? Or you've joined the bandwagon of people who are blaming the economy, blaming the president, blaming all the politicians, even blaming their parents for giving birth to them in Nigeria, blaming everybody but themselves. A wealth builder does not make excuses. A wealth builder takes action. Are you a wealth builder? Let's talk about the scarcity mentality. Now, remember I just talked about the whole having a mindset that you will thrive and you will be fine. This is very important, right? Because if you don't overcome the mentality of scarcity, and that scarcity mentality is when you feel that you will never have enough. There is no money. Things are hard. This and that, this and this and this and that. You overcome the scarcity mentality by replacing that scarcity mentality with an abundance mentality. Now, if you do a little reading into, negative thoughts and positive thoughts, research shows that if you want to replace or you want to get rid of negative thoughts, the best way to get rid of negative thoughts is to replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So you must first identify what negative thoughts have I been carrying around concerning my finances. When you identify them, then you now begin to think about empowering positive thoughts that you can use to replace those negative thoughts with. If you don't work on your mindset, your body will not move in sync. So you cannot expect to have a scarcity mindset, but yet be creating value. It's not possible. They don't go together. You must be able to align your mindset to an abundant mindset, and you will see that you automatically begin to think of ways to create value. Are we together? Are we following? Is anybody lost?
No.
Are we together? Hope you can still hear me. Great. Yes. All right. So now we've talked about importance of wealth building mindset. We've talked about understanding hard times. Now let's move on to the key strategies for building wealth. The key strategies for building wealth. And I'll be sharing with us, I think, about 4 or 5 strategies for building wealth. The first thing I'd like to say is that many of the things we're going to talk about, you've heard them before. But you see, you have heard them before does not mean you have taken action on them. Today, what you are hearing today will not work for you if you don't take action. And so you must be determined that no matter how difficult it is, and trust me, it will be difficult because building wealth is hard work. But you see, it's hard work until you start enjoying the wealth. Then things become easier. But if you're not ready to put in the hard work at the very beginning, then there is no way you will reap the rewards. You cannot reap what you did not sow. Abi, even the Bible says it. You can't reap what you did not sow. So you must be ready to sow time, sow discipline, sow intentionality for you to be able to reap the results of wealth. Let's talk about the very first strategy, building wealth. And we're talking about it in light of the adversity that we're going through, in light of the harsh economic situation that we are going through. Right? Now, the very first key strategy is budgeting and financial planning. Now, the first thing I'd like us to understand is that budgeting is having a plan for your money. Right? Now, earlier when I asked, how is the economy treating you? One of us, Ozioma, shared and said, it's tough and all, but budgeting is helping. And I was glad to hear that, because the truth is, one way to cope in times of adversity with your finances is to be able to be very, very intentional about how you spend your money. Because, you see, one leak in a ship can sink that ship. And so with budgeting, you are able to know where's your money going to. What exactly is making my ship to, get filled up with water? Imagine your finances as a ship, and you just keep seeing water coming into the ship. That is proof that there's a leak somewhere, right? Now, budgeting enables you to know where is your money going to. So instead of wondering where your money went to after you have finished spending it, you're able to direct your money to where you want it to go to from the very beginning. And you know what? In very difficult times like this, we cannot overemphasize the importance of being deliberate in your spending. See, this is not the time to be careless with your spending. Take it. This is not the time to be careless about your spending. This is the time to be very intentional about how you spend your money. Times are already difficult. Yes, it's not going to last forever. But this is the time for you to learn discipline with your spending. This is not the time to be spending compulsively. This is not the time to be spending based on peer pressure. This is not the time to be spending because you want to meet societal standards. No. This is not the time to be spending because you don't have self-control. This is the time for you to be very deliberate about spending on things that are necessities, things that are your needs and not your wants. And you see, when you're able to focus on budgeting, right, you will eventually find out that a whole lot of things that you used to spend your money on they were not important. Yes. You will find out that you were not even prioritizing other times. When you sit and you're able to prioritize, this is what I want to use my money for. This is how my money is going to be spent. This is where I want my money to go to. You are putting yourself in a position of control over your finances. And you take the driver's seat, because now you are steering your finances in the direction that you desire it to go. Now, what are some practical steps for budgeting? Now, one practical step is to use a budgeting strategy. And there are so many budgeting strategies. We have the 50-30-20 rule. We have the 70-20-10 rule. We have the 50-40-10 rule. We have the envelope style of budgeting. We have the zero budgeting method. There are different budgeting methods. But the whole point is, make sure that you have a plan that you are following with your budget. Very important. So that you're able to say, okay, when money comes into my account, I allocate, let's use 50-30-20, for example. I allocate 50% for my needs, 30% for my wants, 20% for my savings and investing. That's just an example. Now, that may not work for everyone, but the whole idea is that it gives you a strategy. It gives you a plan on how your money will be spent. So instead of the fact that you just get money and then you just spend it at will, so the first thing that comes to your eye, you buy, you pay for because you have the money. No. Instead, you sit down and you say, okay, I have X amount of money. Now, before I spend a penny from this money, I am going to think about all of the things that I currently need. What are the things that are pressing needs? What are the things that are priorities? What are the things that I can do without? What are the things I cannot do without? What must I spend money on? What can wait? What can I even totally cut out of my, my list for spending? Then a second practical step is to include saving into your budget. Very important. So you see, one thing that helps you with saving is being intentional. So you see, when it comes to saving, it's not really about how much. It's really about how consistent you are and how intentional you are. So instead of saying that I will wait until I have 10,000 naira at once before I save, you can just decide to say, every week I'll save 2,500. In 4 weeks, I've saved 10,000. Or every week I'll save 1,000. In 10 weeks, I've saved 10,000. It is consistency and intentionality. Now, what I usually advise is that just the way you see on this screen, we have in this budget bills, food, travel, taxes, rent. Just the way you will list out your items on your budget, one of your items should be saving. In other words, saving should be seen as an expense. Does this make sense? Now, when you see it as an expense, it makes you more intentional, because now you have to make room for it. So that is a very, very strong practical step when it comes to budgeting. And with budgeting, right, you are able to, like I said, streamline what you spend your money on to ensure that you are spending on necessities. You are not spending on things that are not necessary. You are not spending on wants. You are not spending on, vibes and inshallah, as people will say it. You are very intentional about how you spend. And the truth is, financial growth happens when you are intentional. Financial growth happens when you are intentional. Moving on. Second strategy for thriving in hard times is diversifying your income streams. Now, the first thing to understand is that relying on one source of income is risky. Risky, as in risky, especially in very unstable economies. Yes. But you see, when you have more than one thing that you're doing for money, you are able to accelerate your wealth building journey, and you are able to cushion the effect of even the tough economy. Because the truth is, sometimes when I think about how I've been able to survive what is going on right now, I am so thankful that I have more than one thing that I do for money. Because the way the bills are attacking me is not funny. Especially with the fact that things are also tripling and doubling and quadrupling in price. So imagine, many people are still doing the same jobs they were doing before the inflation, right? And to make matters, will I say worse, their salaries have not been increased. So imagine you were surviving on a particular amount of money before the inflation happened, and you are still earning the same amount of money. It then means that the things you used to do with that money before, you can only do a handful of them now. So the question now becomes, what now takes care of the surplus? Very key question. And the only way to be able to handle the surplus that your salary or your job cannot take care of is by having something else that you are doing. Now, we have two types of income. We have active income and we have passive income. Now, active income is what you do actively for money. So it could be your job. It could be your business. You have a shop. You go to the shop every day. You open the shop. You sell in the shop. You maybe work in a bank. You go to work every day. Or you work in a company. You go to work every day. Active income. Or like me, you're a photographer. And so you go and you take pictures for people. Active income. So active income has to do with income that needs your presence, if I may put it that way, needs you to be involved in creating that income. So for example, I need to be able to hold the camera and take pictures, right? That's the active income part of my business. However, we should also aim to have passive income, because what is passive income? Passive income now is income that is flowing into your pocket whether or not you are engaging in the activity or not. So, for example, a very easy to understand example is, let's say you have land and you have developed the land and there's property on the land, right? You expect rent either monthly, yearly, quarterly, or whatever, biannually, and all of that. Now, when you have a property, you don't carry your mattress and your everything and go and station yourself at the gates and be waiting for the time for rent to come. No, you move on with your business, you move on with your job, you move on with the other things that you're doing. When it is time for rent, people pay their rent, it comes into your account and you move on. Let's say you write a book and you wrote a book, and the book now is on different sharing platforms, Amazon, Seller, and the rest of them. You move on with your life, right? People find the book, they purchase it, you get paid. You don't even have to interface.
You have, you bring, I'll put it
right?
for you.
Somebody's mic is on and it's pretty loud. Let me see who's that.
You need to mute from your end.
Okay, yes, I'm just about to do that. Yes, so like I was saying. So the question now becomes the importance of being able to earn from both sources of income. Because right now, like I said, just having your 9-to-5 job or doing your sales girl work or having a business, even having a business is not even enough. Having one business is not enough. And let me tell you, because it is not everyday business will move. It's not every day people come to the studio to snap. So imagine that all my hope is on my photography business. So what about periods where things are dry, where I don't get clients? What happens? What happens to my bills? My bills don't go away. They keep looking at me. In fact, they keep coming back with more. So I need to be able to expand my ability to earn. And you know the very, very important thing? If you want to expand your ability to earn, you must also expand your learning. Because a whole lot of the opportunities that are available for money making has to do with how much you know. So I'm sure you've heard this quote that says, the more you learn, the more you earn. There are no truer words. Because even in your industry or in your business, you will not be able to go past a certain point unless you increase your knowledge. So if I keep teaching the same thing I teach as the money mechanic, the same thing I've been teaching in 2020 is what I've been teaching 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Do you know that my earnings as the money mechanic will not increase? Why? My learning has not increased. At a point, I will have nothing new or valuable to offer, and people will stop paying me for my service. So even as someone who is a knowledge entrepreneur, who coaches people, who writes, I must be increasing my ability to learn. So you may be in a 9-to-5 job, but you've been in the same position for the past 5 years. They are promoting other people, but they're not promoting you. Have you asked yourself, have I been bringing value to this company, or I have gotten comfortable with where I am that I have not thought to increase my ability to learn and to earn? Sometimes just a little upgrade in your learning, in your knowledge, opens doors for elevation in your earning. You may be having a skill, but you've just been doing it the same way all over all the years. You've not thought to learn any new aspect. You've not thought to learn best practices. You've not thought to learn the newer ways people are doing things. Trust me, your ability to earn will never increase because your learning is still stagnant. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you cannot rely on one source of income. And I'll end by saying that I know that some of you are asking, you are talking about having multiple sources of income. Where do I start from? Start from examining yourself. What do I know? What skills do I have? What knowledge do I have that I can put to good use? That is usually where the answer is. You know, a couple of days ago, I was thinking and I said, if all of the things I'm doing now, maybe somehow, they stop giving me money, what else can I do that can give me money? And I started listing a couple of things. I said, by virtue of building my own community, I can actually be a community manager. I've built the Money Mechanic community for 4 years now. Almost 7,000 followers on Facebook. I have a WhatsApp group of almost 500 followers. I mean, I have my coaching community. I've built community by myself. So it means that if I package myself well, package my experience well, I can do a community management role. And I have not gone for any certification from it, but I have hands-on experience with proof. Now, I am not looking for a community management role, but it was good I asked myself that question. In case I need to pivot at any point, what can I do? That's what you should be asking yourself. What have I picked by virtue of experience? Some of us know how to, some ladies here, you know how to braid hair very well. You learned it by virtue of plaiting your sisters when you were growing up. And you got very good at it. But you never thought that it would be a source of income because, oh well, so you plait your sisters for free, you plait your friends for free. You've never thought about packaging this skill and earning money from it. Some of you have learned some things at home. Some of you know how to make, if you're from the north, you know the popular snack or food called masa. Some of you have learned because of maybe making masa in your house every Saturday morning. I'm just giving an example. You've mastered how to make masa. Speaking of masa, I know of a lady, she doesn't do it anymore because, you know, she pivoted and she's now a career woman. But before she went into the career space full time, she used to be in Jaws. Guess what? She used to make masa. But you see, her masa used to have a twist. How many of you have eaten masa with Nutella inside? Let me ask. First of all, if you've eaten masa and then eating masa with Nutella, can you indicate in the comments? She used to make masa with Nutella, masa with shredded beef and, you know, minced meat inside. And some very, very nice, like any feeling you wanted. I'm sure if you wanted masa with ketchup, she would make it for you. She had mastered the art of making masa. She wasn't a chef. She didn't go to culinary school as far as I know. But she took a skill that she had mastered. Do you understand? And she turned it into a business. Till today, I've still not seen anyone that does masa the way she does it. It was just a little twist to what she already knows. So you see, finding multiple sources of income is not really as difficult as we think. How did I start writing? I grew up and I was privileged to be homeschooled. And the curriculum that was used to homeschool me had me writing a whole lot. So from grade 3, 4, I was writing essays, I was researching, I was using, footnotes, I knew referencing styles, I knew how to research. And then I went to a university where we were literally writing almost all the time. And plagiarism was not allowed, so your work had to be original. Now, I picked up that skill, and then adding to the fact that I love to read. I have a robust library. It has got to the point that I've set up a free community library in my community. I love to read. And so my reading, polished with writing, has now made me automatically a writer. A writer now that I monetize my writing. I've written 2 books so far, and I have much more coming. I didn't go to school to learn how to write. It came by virtue of experience. So you have no excuse. You just need to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what are my skills? What is my knowledge? What is my passion? Some of us, our passion, our passion can lead us to another source of income, but we don't take our passion very seriously. Some of us are passionate about looking good, but we think that it just stops at looking good. Have you ever thought about being a fashion consultant? Have you ever thought about being a personal shopper? Have you ever thought about having a boutique, selling clothes? It doesn't even have to be brand new clothes. It could be secondhand clothes, thrifts, first grade. But you get unique ones. You help people find their taste. You dress people up. You consult for people who like looking good. Have you ever thought about the fact that your passion for looking good could be monetized? I think I've said enough of this, and I'll move on. The next strategy is investing wisely. And the first thing I would like to say is that you don't wait until you have all the money in the world before you invest. That's a wrong mindset. The earlier you start investing, the better for you. Because with time, your small, consistent investments, they will grow significantly over time. One of the issues that we have as Africans is the fact that we think that investing is just for rich people. And trust me, I used to be I used to have that mindset before. I used to think that investing is just for rich people. But I got to a point where when I started learning about my finances, I started understanding that investing is not just for rich people. Investing is for people that are intentional. That's just it. Yes. Investing is for people that are intentional. If you are intentional, you can invest. If you are intentional, you can invest. That's just it. So the important thing is that you must be ready to be intentional. Start small. You don't need to wait until you have all the money in the world. Some of us want to be as rich as Warren Buffett. But do you know that Warren Buffett started investing under the age of 12? Do you know that? You can't compare yourself to Warren Buffett, who has over 80 years of experience in the stock market. You can't compare yourself to him. He has over 80 years of experience. And the reason why he has excelled in the stock market as an investor is because he has the leverage of time. I keep saying this thing, the leverage of time. You can't take that away from him. He made his mistakes early. He got knowledge early. He started early. I can imagine 80, 90 years ago, how much did he start investing with? Maybe it was not even up to $1. Maybe it was not even up to $1. But now the guy is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he started from a little seed. What is your little seed that you can start with? Start with the little seed you have. Start early, and you will see that you will grow big if you stay consistent. Second thing is, when it comes to investing, my brothers, my sisters, invest in knowledge first. Invest in knowledge first. Knowledge should be the very first thing that you put your money in. Before you put your money in an investment, learn about the investment first. Before you put your money in anything, learn about it first. You want to earn from Forex, learn. Go and put yourself under a tutor and learn. You want to get into the stock market, find a coach to teach you, learn. You want to get into real estate, get knowledge. You want to start a business, get someone who has experience that can share with you some knowledge. It will help you to save yourself from making costly mistakes. Because someone who has done that and has made the mistakes is going to be able to tell you, no, don't do this. Don't do it like this. Do it like this. Or use this. Start here. Don't do this. If there is a pothole, they will tell you, skip this place. There is a pothole here. Don't put your money here. Don't give your money to this person. Invest in knowledge first. Don't be so quick to put money in an investment. Put money in knowledge first before you put money in an investment. And of course, seek credible opportunities. This is very, very, very important because there are so many Ponzi schemes. So many Ponzi schemes lying around. And many of us Africans, we are very, very gullible to Ponzi schemes. Why? Most times because we are greedy. We are very greedy. We want to make money quick, fast. And so, because we want to make money quick and fast, we put aside knowledge. We put aside rational thinking. And we just plunge into a so-called investment that ends up being a Ponzi scheme. Please ensure that, like I said, before you get into an investment, you get knowledge. When you get knowledge, right, you will be able to identify when something is a Ponzi scheme and when something is a legitimate investment. Moving on. We have 2 more strategies and we are done for the night. Build an emergency fund. My goodness, I can't even stress this enough. A few days ago, again, I posted on Facebook and I was just reminiscing and I was just thankful that I saved. Because the truth is that it is my saving that is saving me in this period. I won't even lie to you. Because right now, I was telling someone, I said, right now, being a Nigerian alone is an emergency. Because, you know, saving, right, is not just saving to buy new bags, saving to buy new shoes, saving to buy new phone, saving to buy new laptop. You should also save because rainy days will come. Save because emergencies will come. Save because you want to be ready when those emergencies come. You don't have to begin to run helter-skelter. You don't have to be confused. You don't even have to start getting into debt. That is what saving does for you. Saving gives you a cushion for the rainy day. And your emergency fund, ideally, is to contain at least 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up. This is what experts, advise. And why do they advise this? They advise this because the assumption is that if peradventure you lose your main source of income, you can at least take care of yourself for at least 3 to 6 months before you settle into a new job or into a new business or into a new career. The important thing you also need to understand about an emergency fund is that an emergency fund is not for investing. Please know, an emergency fund is supposed to be somewhere you can quickly access because remember, it is for what? Emergencies. So if you go and you invest your emergency fund now in the stock market and an emergency now happens, you may be forced to sell your shares at a loss. Or what if you go and put it in an investment that the time to collect your capital and interest has not come? What do you do? So build an emergency fund. Build an emergency fund. Finally, networking and mentorship. Networking and mentorship. Your network is your net worth. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who is in your circle? What people are you doing business with? Are you friends with people that are encouraging you to spend carelessly? Are you also networking to be able to increase your income streams? Some of us have good products, but there'll be events in your community like trade fairs, people are selling vendor stands, you won't go. You will stay and be saying, and they'll find me on Facebook and they'll buy. My dear, put yourself out there. Yes, they'll find you on Facebook, but if there are opportunities for you to network, put yourself out there. Attend conferences, join online communities, participate in local, meetups, connect with like-minded people. One person I would like to commend here is Ozioma. Earlier when I was commending her WhatsApp, I said, anything money, you see Ozioma there. Anything money. And I've seen that happen time and time again. This is someone I've never met, right? I don't even think we've had a phone conversation. Probably just WhatsApp, right? But you can see the intentionality. She's here tonight again because anywhere there's money, you see her there. What's the point? She understands the importance of community. I do as well. And so for me, wherever I see that there is a chance for me to learn about my finances, to learn about how I'll grow my business, to learn about how I will grow as a person, you will find me there. I will pay the price as much as I can to ensure that I am expanding my network. Why? Because indirectly and directly, the people you know will impact your finances. Some business deals you will not get until you become part of a particular network. Yes, there are some opportunities you will not get until you know certain people. How will you know these certain people if you are not putting yourself out there to network? And yes, mentorship. Very important that you follow people who are already manifesting your dreams. So you see somebody and the person is living your dream. You look at this person and you're like, this is where I want to be in 5 years. This is where I want to be in 10 years. Follow such people. And if you get the opportunity to even connect with them one-on-one, do it. Because some of them are the ones that will recommend you in rooms of importance. I listen to Vusi Tembekwayo a lot. And he always talks about the fact that there are 3 categories of people in your life. I think he calls them mentors, sponsors, and coaches. Yes, mentors, sponsors, and coaches. And he says that sponsors are people who they'll never give you money, but they're the ones who will mention your name in rooms that matter. They're the ones who will recommend you for business opportunities. They're the ones who will hear of a contract and know that you are up to the task and insist that the contract be given to you. They will never give you money, but their word is as good as whatever money you will ever get. So when we talk about thriving in adversity, we cannot take away the value of being in the right community, because being in the right community also gives you a chance to get your mindset in the right place, because you are now in a community with people who are thriving, who are striving to thrive, who are looking for opportunities, who are creating value. And you will find yourself being inspired and also being held accountable to also create value. So let's quickly talk about overcoming challenges, and then we will call it a night so that we can take questions. I know we are aiming for 9:30. Now, there are common obstacles that face us as young people in our quest to build wealth. Lack of capital, FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. You're afraid that if you don't do a particular thing, or you don't buy a particular dress, or you don't buy a particular phone or a particular gadget, you'll be left out. Fear of missing out, societal pressure. We also have black tax. You can see this lady here on the right-hand side. She's just confused. There's Auntie Rose, personal project, Lil Sis, Brother Obina, Grandma, Uncle Jide. Everybody is looking for a piece of her. Black tax. Your family's entitlement to your money. That is a challenge that many of us Africans are facing. What are some practical solutions to these challenges? Number 1, set SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Your financial goals should be smart. Your saving goals, budgeting goals, your income goals, your investing goals, set goals. Because when you set goals, they make you more intentional about the way you spend and whatever decisions you take with your money. Then, of course, another practical solution is financial literacy. Arm yourself with financial literacy now more than ever. If you were not serious about learning about your money, I heard someone, I think it was Mr. Obed or somebody earlier on talking about how he's being mentored by our anchor Dami. Financial literacy. Hold the leg of a coach around you and learn about your finances. Nobody was born financially literate. We all have to learn it. So instead of thinking that you can do it on your own, find someone who knows more than you do about this financial thing and hold their leg. Yes, hold their leg. Don't leave them until you learn what can help you, jumpstart your finances. And of course, get accountability. Why accountability is important is that accountability helps you stay on track with your goals. Let me give an example. There's a lady I'm holding accountable currently. She reached out to me maybe a month ago. She said she wants to jackpot, right? And she wants to be very intentional. She wants to save and she wants to jackpot on her own terms. Like she wants to be able to pay her way out of the country, right? And so she said she's starting a jackpot fund. And she wants me to be keeping her accountable. She told me that there's a particular amount she wants to be saving every day towards her jackpot fund. And so what I do is every week, I keep her accountable, right? Now, she's doing that because she wants to be intentional about doing it. Sometimes we may set goals and we don't go ahead and do it because there's nobody that is keeping us accountable. So we just feel we can do anyhow. But when you know that there's some kind of accountability, you become a little more serious with your goals. And another tip, even if you cannot get a human being to be accountable, that is why we have automation now. You can get, fintech apps. In Nigeria, we have things like Piggyvest, we have Cowrywise. I don't know about other, African countries, but I know in Nigeria, you have these two, you have others. Automate your savings. Let the fintech be taking the money automatically for you so that you don't have to think twice. All you just see is that they've taken the money away so that you can remain accountable and intentional with your goals. Now, I'd like to conclude by saying that I am not in any way downplaying what everyone is going through. I'm not. I am not in any way trying to make you feel like, oh, me, I don't understand what is going on. Maybe I have it better than you. I am feeling the pressure as much as you are. But you see, maybe if I didn't have financial literacy, I think I would have been in a more worse place than I am right now. Now that you have this knowledge, prepare yourself for the next hard time because hard times will come. It is a wake-up call for all of us about the importance of building financial resilience for the hard times. So it starts from, like we said, your mindset. Then it moves to now picking up healthy money habits, like we've talked about budgeting, saving, investing, multiple sources of income. We've talked about those things. And I think one more thing I will say is try as much as possible to stay away from debt. I know it's not easy, especially in this period of time, but a whole lot of people are getting into debt simply because they were not saving before this inflation. And so now they literally have to live on debt. You need to now step up your income so that you don't get drowned by debt. Because if you get drowned by debt, hey, even when you start making enough income, you will notice that most of your income is being used to pay back loans. So I'll stop here because I want to respect time. We have 9 more minutes. I'll stop here. I hope that tonight's session, as short as it has been insightful in some way. Some of the things, like I said, you must have heard before. But I'm hoping that they've come to you in a newer light, giving you a newer perspective. If you didn't take anything from this session, because the comments have been very quiet, hope you take away the fact that where there is an abundance of problem, there's an abundance of opportunity. So you need to start looking at the problems around you and looking to seek the opportunities for you to create value, even in the hard economic times that we are facing. So I'll call it quits now. And then I'll be looking into the comment section to see if we have any questions. Thank you very much for your time.
That was, I literally had to be taking note, of course. I'm also learning. Thank you so much. Such an impactful session. Thank you. All right. So if you have question, can we have your question now? If you have a question, just raise your hand. So take 2 or 3 questions before we go. You have a question, you had written it down before now. Quickly. You have just 8 minutes. Okay, I guess I would have to. Okay, unmute. All right. Ozioma has a question.
All right, Ozioma, go ahead, please.
Oh, is it my?
Was someone raising their hand? Guys, Abi, did we sleep off? I hope I did not lull you to sleep with my talk. I will always say, if there's a question in your heart that you know that if you don't ask, you will not sleep well, please, the time is now. Ask and it shall be given to you.
So I'm asking you all to unmute so you can tell us. Okay, so if there's no question, just tell us one line what you learned. Then we'll call it in an evening.
Okay.
Just unmute your mic. One thing you learned, one key thing you learned today. Quickly. Should I call names? We are not much,
Call
so let's
names.
just do it very quickly. One thing you learned.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with Joycelyn. Joycelyn, where are you? Okay, who is talking? Somebody's saying something already.
Yeah,
Good evening.
Grace. Okay.